Welcome to the new year. I'm Simeon Grace. This is going to be my first video for the year, and let's see who's going to make the first comment as well. We're going to be making this Bustier illusion dress, and the materials we'll be working with are the main fabric, which could be any pattern of your favorite design. It could be Ankara or lace fabric as well. I'm also going to be working with crepe, which is a nude color. I'll be working with the veil net, which is also my color. I'll be working with fringe, to add some designs to the dress. Also, I have here pipe. It's called pipe. I wouldn't know the name it's been called in your area. And also the cup chain or trimmings. To my dress as well, I added a little design on the inward part of the dress, which will not be visible to all, and it's just a little secret which is going to help you cinch your waist to your desired measurements. So let's move to the cutting table. First, I'm going to write out the measurements. For the length, I told us that we need the underbust length, which is 12. We need the half length, which is 15, and the waist length, which is 80. Then the shoulder is 14, the bust is 34, under bust circumference is 26, and the waist is 28. Now to the circumference measurement, I'm going to add 8 inches and divide by 4, which is the same as your circumference measurement divided by 4 plus 2. So 34 plus 8 will give us 42, divided by 4 will give us 10.5. Then 26 plus 8, 34, divided by 4 will give us 8.5. 28 plus 8, that's 36, divided by 4 will give us 9 inches. So going with the highest circumference measurements, which is 10.5. That means I'll be folding with 10.5. But because it's a padded dress, a bustier dress, there's reason for us to add extra 2 inches, and that will give us 12.5. So my folding now is 12.5 inches. We have 12.5 folded, and I'm going to be taking the lengths. Here is my 18 inches length. So plus 1 will give us 19. Then this is my 15 inches, which is the half length, on the bust, which is 12. And then the armhole length, 8.5 inches, which is constant measurement. But for plus size, you sum it up to 9 inches. So this is our under bust. This is our half length. This is waist length. Now there's extra 2 inches I added, so while taking our circumference measurements we have to bear that in mind, or better still, we just measure the 2 inches and hide it first. So you can hide your 2 inches so you won't get confused when taking the measurements. Shoulder is 14 divided by 2 will give us 7 inches. Then the bust circumference 10.5, so it's below the 8.5 inches that was measured. Then the underbust circumference is going to be below the underbust length, and that is 8.5 inches, while we have the waist measurement 9 inches. And to connect this, we go like this. All right, that being done, we have the shoulder 7. So to get the armhole, we're going to measure down I mean, to get, yes, the armhole curve, we're going to get the midpoint. And the midpoint of 8.5 is 4.25. So on that point, I am coming in by 0.5. Here, I am going up by 1 inch. Now, to curve this, if you have your curve set, just place it to get the proper shape for your armhole. And if you do not, if you're using your free hand, you can just go with this. So you're going to connect like this. This is going to meet this. Then from your from the shoulder measurements, you come out like this. So we've gotten the armhole curve. Now the next thing we're going to do is, because of the yoke at the top of our dress, you can decide to measure, that's your desired measurement. If you want to use 6, you want to go with 7, just go with any measurement of your choice. So I'm going with 7 inches on this point. Now that we've brought out the shape, we can unfold first because of the yoke now. And then at the middle point here, it is going to be 8. That's my choice. If you want yours to be straight, that means you just take your 7 and cut it out. I want it to, you know, have a form of a sweetheart shape. And of course, at this point, I just don't want it to be sharp, you know, just like this. So I want you to create something like a square or a round shape. For that reason, I am coming like this. So it is not a sharp measurement here. So now the next thing we are going to do is it will be based on the half length. This is just the yoke. So what we're going to be measuring is based on the bust span. You know, the bust span could be 8, could be 9, depending on the measurement. So for that reason, for this measurement, the bust span is 7 inches. So divided by 2 will give us 3.5. And I'll be adding half an inch to that to make it 4 inches. So here is my 4 inches. Now, this is our underbust. So from the underbust, we need to get the nipple point, which varies as well. So for this particular measurement, the nipple point is 3 inches. And here from the base, we are going to be taking 1 inch to the left hand side, 1 inch to the right hand side. That will continue till we get to the underbust measurements. While here at the top, it is going to be 1.5 inches to the left and also to the right hand side. Now, we are going to connect this, which is a straight line, and then from this underbust, we said this is the nipple point. So I'm going to connect to the 1 inch and also to the 1 inch. Then from our 1.5 inches, we are connecting to the nipple point like this and like this. Now that we have done this, it is just for us to cut. So like I said, this is not a sharp edge, and you can go with any design anyways. Please, I'm cutting behind the lines, behind this line and also behind this line. Good. Now, still on the yoke, because we added extra 2 inches, all I'm going to do on this part of our yoke is to subtract the 2 inches, which I am going to cut out. So we need to note that we added the 2 inches because of the padded area of our dress. Now for the neckline, you can always go with any neck design of your choice. So I'll be making mine a round neck, and I'll be going with 3.5 by 2.5 inches. If you want a wider neck, you can go for a wider neck, and you can also go for another neckline, neck design. You can go for canoe neck, square, what have you, sweetheart, and the rest. Here on the shoulder, there's need to take 1 inch, and we're going to slant from the neckline to cut. Alright, having cut it out, remember I said here we have 2 measurements. We have the half length and we have the waist length. Now we're going to create a curve from the half length, which is 15 inches, to meet with the 18 inches, and it goes thus. You can just it's a form of a not really a straight slant shape, just a curve from the 15. This is how it's going to come out. All right, now what we're going to do is we'll be using this to cut out the necks, while this is going to be the crepe material. All I just need to do is place my pattern on the crepe material to cut. Now, having cut out the patterns, the fabric using the patterns, the next thing we're going to do is from the under bust here, we're going to come up by 1 inch. Here is my 1 inch. Then here is our middle pattern. From the middle point, I'm going to take 1 inch as well. Here is my 1 inch, and I am going to slant. Make sure you position it well. Alright, so we're going to slant from this 1 inch to the other end. And I'm going to cut. I'm sure you know why I am changing my scissors. The fabric scissors should be different from your pattern scissors. Good. Now, I am going to place this to cut the main fabric. But before then, the 1 inch that was taken here, it is still going to continue to the top. 1 inch. And we are cutting it out. Once it affects this, it affects the other side as well. So I'll be using this to cut out the main fabric, which is this. So I'll be cutting 2 of this and 2 of this. Let's do that. So now I have cut out this and this using the fabric, the main fabric. So what we're going to do is I'm going to cut out my paper stay for this. For the main crepe, we'll be using wadding, but for this fabric now we'll be using the paper stay. So I'll just cut it out. Now that we've done that, the next thing we're going to do, this is the part of our pattern. Please don't throw any of your patterns away. We are still working on it. This is our pattern, and the base that was cut out was like this, and then we cut out this part from our main pattern. We are still going to from our 1 inch. Okay, let me just cut it out straight. That's the 1 inch that we measured on the middle piece, and we have this slant shape which we have used to cut this. Now the remaining parts, which is this, we are going to be placing this, both this and this, to cut out our prep material. But this time around it's going to be a straight cut. So it comes like this. I'm sure you get this. If you're missing out on any part of this tutorial, it is either you leave the comments, you leave your questions at the comment section, or you just play back so that you can get each steps. So this is the base now, and then we are done. This I'll be cutting on the other side as well, so we need 2 of this. So for this crepe as well, I'll be ironing my paper stay on this. Now moving to the base of the front, we are going to be cutting a 6 pieces dress, but the front alone is going to be 3 pieces. Now we already subtracted 15 inches from the half length, and the full length of the dress is 56 plus 1 inch allowance. I have 57 inches. Here is my 57 inches at the base, and the knee length is 32 inches, while this is 15 inches. So I made it 14 inches. The hip measurement is what we're going to be using to cut this. I have a tutorial on how to cut 6 pieces, about 2 or 3 videos on how to cut 6 pieces skirt. You can apply the same method here. The folding is based on your desired measurements, depending on how wide you want the base of your dress. So for me, I folded 9 inches. Now the hip measurement is what I'll be taking at this part. So since it's 6 pieces, it's going to be 6 inches. That's 36 divided by 6 is 6, and it is folded. That means we're going to take 3 inches to get 6 inches. To the 3 inches, I'll be adding half an inch to make it 3.5. So I'm measuring 3.5 from here. So the 3.5 inches continues till we get to the half length. Then from the half length, we're going to slant to the edge of the folding. So this is 1 piece. I am going to repeat 2 of these more to get the 3 pieces at the front. All you need to do is just place your fabric to cut 2 more. So now we are cutting the back. Since we are done with the front, the back cutting, the way I want my dress to look like, we are still going with the 6 pieces, but I just want the fabric to start from the mid back somewhere around here, so that the upper part of the bodice is still the same net that is being used here at the front part. So I'll be taking 9 inches, that's somewhere around my middle back here. So from the 9 inches all the way to the base of the dress is going to be the length that I'll be taking now. So it is still the 6 pieces, and then we move ahead. Now the full length, like I said, is 57. So I have 56. So I have 57, and half length 32. Here is the half length, 32 inches, and like I said, minus 9 inches. That doesn't mean yours too should be 9 inches. It depends on how low you want to bring the back part of the dress. So we're still going to continue with the 3.5 inches. That's the hip measurement. The hip measurement divided by 6 is 6. So since it's 6 pieces, we are using 3 inches since it's folded, and to the 3 inches I added 0.5 to make it 3.5. so the 3.5 inches continues like that to the knee length. Then from the knee length, of course, we are going to slant to the base of our folding. For this particular piece, I am only going to cut one more of this. All right, so this is one piece for the back. This is the second piece. I don't know if you can see. This is the second piece. To cut the third piece, which is going to be the middle piece, definitely there would be need for zipper at the back. So I am adding extra 1 inch because of our zipper allowance to that of the back, and we are going to cut. So the middle piece at the back, I am going to slit. Now this is the front pieces. I am going to join the 3 pieces. That's after ironing my paper stay on the fabric. I'll join those 3 pieces at the front. Then I'll come back to show us what next to do because of the basque area at the upper parts. Then that of the back, I am going to add 1 piece to the middle piece, which that's half of the middle piece that was cut, 1, and then the other one to this to join. So I'm going to join this, and I'll join this as well. So I'll come back to show us what to do next. Now moving to the half length on the back, I am folding based on my basic measurements. That's the bust circumference plus 8 divided by 4. Then the length, remember the base of the back, we measured 9 inches. So this minus 9 is what I'm cutting out. But here I have 10 inches. And that's because I want a curve shape here at the back. Also, I have 8.5, which is the armhole length, and the shoulder measurement divided by 2. Now I am not adding any allowance to this. So first I'm cutting out the 10 inches. And since it's the bust area, and of course our 1 inch for the armhole. For the width, we used 2.5 inches and the back depth of just 1 inch. Now you can be creative with this back part of your dress. You can decide to create something like a round shape. You can leave it straight. You can just go with any design of your choice. Here on the armhole, I'm taking 1 inch for our shoulder slants, which goes like this. Also, from our 10 inches, I am going to to curve it from the 9 inches, which is our basic measurement, and I'm going to curve it out, just a little curve. Here at the back, you can go ahead as well. And the neckline and our shoulder slants. Of course, we need to slant. I'll place this on the net fabric. Because of the folding here at the edge, I am just going to add 0.5 inches just for the folding. Well, this is the half length on the front. The the main fabric that we cut, I am going to place it like this. So the first thing I'm going to do is to make sure this goes in and this goes in, and you can leave it the way it is so that you can come back to place your trimmings on it. And if you want to tuck it in, you can do that as well. So if you're going to be tucking it in, that means you had the half an inch while cutting. All right, that is for this. And as well, I have this place, so we are going to join, and also we are going to join this. Once that is done, for the base of the dress, we are going to place it just like this, or better still, fold into two. So we can cut out the shape on this side. Now, as soon as we are done joining the half lengths, we are also going to cut out the lining. Here's the lining for the half length. I'm using a satin fabric as the lining. I'm also going to join the lining as I'm joining this. Once I'm done joining, here's the lining for the base of our dress. I am also going to attach the lining to this base so that I can join the half length and the base together. So I'm going to do that, then I'll come back to show us the next thing. Okay, like I said earlier, we need to join the front, which I have done. So all you just need to do is place the main material, the main fabric, on the crepe material and join. Also, I have joined the lining. Here's the lining. So to place the net, the veil net now, and the lining, here is the main material. Then here's the neckline. I don't know if you can see. Here's the neckline for the net. So you have to place it like this so that the part which will be joined to the main dress, the half length, will be here, just on it. And then you place your lining as well. So as you can see, we're going to join it on the neckline so that after joining, this is what we are going to have. Now, remember we cut another fabric, that's the crepe material, for the base. So we are going to be placing it on the joined material. You have to get the the right hand side and the left hand side correctly. So now this is what I am going to do. I'll just run a stitch, that's a straight sewing, in a way that it is going to cover this. So I'm going to run it on it. And as well, it is going to cross the line, the joining here. It's going to cross it up. So it will close it up and then it meets here at those points. After joining this, for the base of the front, what I did here was just to turn with the lining. So I'm going to place it in this manner to join. That is, after joining this, I'm going to join this as well. So that's the front. I'll do that, then I'll come back to show us what's next. All right, for the back as well, this is our veil net and this is the base. So you just place the veil net to place your lining, then you join. So that I have done for the right hand side and also the left hand side. Then the next thing we are going to do, which is a matter of choice, is this. I have this here with me, so I'm just going to explain how to go about it. Now, on the inside of my dress, I want it to come this way. So in a way that I can, tighten it up on the inside before fastening my zipper. So before zipping it up, I can just use this to determine how fitted I want the dress on the waist. So to do this, what we're going to do is this. The length, that's beginning from wherever we want it to start from, a little bit below the under bust length. The under bust length is 12 inches. So I want mine to start from that 12 inches. So I'm going to take the measurement from 12 and it's going to stop at the waist. So it's going to start from the 12, which is a little bit like the under bust measurement, but this is the back now. So from 12 to the waist area, which is 20. So the length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this length now is going to be 8 inches. And then the width, it is going to be the measurements that we have here at the back, minus 2 inches. Now that is going to have to do with your waist, your measurements, or better still, because we've not brought out the shape, you can just take the measurements, whatever measurements you have here at the back. For me now, I have 10 inches. So this 10 inches minus 2 inches will give us 8 inches. So that means I need 8 inches like this, and I need 8 inches for the length. So we'll just pick up your fabric. Then you measure out the 8 inches. 8 inches for the width, and then 8 inches length. So the width of 8 inches, remember to add your seam allowance, which is half an inch, that's 8.5, and to the length as well, you add your allowance, which is 8.5, and then you cut it out. You also need lining for that. So whatever you have cut out on the crepe fabric, you'll be cutting out the lining for it. After that is done, you need to iron your wording on the crepe. Let me show us. So here is my fabric, which is the crepe, and I have ironed my wording on it. Since I will not be using boning or anything, so this is my wording. Now you have your crepe, and we have the lining. So I'm just going to use this to explain. So this is our crepe, and then this is our lining. To create your loops, you have to cut out strips of fabric, just something like this, or you have it more. Now you fold and place it on the crepe material. It is going to be on the crepe material. The wording is on this part of our fabric, and this is the front part of the crepe. So we have this placed on the front part of the crepe, and then we have our lining covering it up. So we're going to be running our straight sewing on this part. So you have to arrange this. If you are measuring and you want the distance to be 1 inch in between, that means you have to take 1 inch, you pin it down, you take another 1 inch, you pin it down, you take another 1 inch, you pin it down, just like that. So you use the lining, you place the lining on it, and then you run your straight sewing. So that is what I have here, which I have done. I have my crepe fabric and I have my lining. So I have done that. By the time I also close the top and the base, leaving just one side for me to turn it inside out. So by the time you are done with that, all you just need to do is turn it out, and this is what you're going to get. All right. So now, by the time we bring this, you already discovered that it is reduced. The width measurement is shortened, reduced from the actual measurements that we have on the main fabric. Another thing we need to pay attention is the length with which you want to place the fabric. So this is just a matter of choice. If you do not want to attach this to your dress, you can just leave it the way it is. So this is my 12 inches. It's from 12 to 20 inches, which I have measured. So I'm just going to pin it down at this point and run a straight sewing so that I can hold it down. And the same thing on the other side here. Now, after that is done, I'll close up the remaining part so that I can fix my zipper in between.
Okay, action.
So the front has been fixed. I attached the base together with the half length, and here we are. Then for the back, I told us that if we do not need this, then we don't need to attach it. Just leave your dress like this. But for me, I have joined it to the sides, like I explained. So in between the space, we left 2 inches. That will give us 4 inches. The space of 4 inches is there. So after bringing out the shape, which is what we're going to be doing now, we're going to use a rope to tighten it. That's if you want. So we are just left with joining the shoulder and also bringing out the shape from the sides. Then we move to the sleeve. Okay, cutting the sleeve, I have my basic sleeve, which I have cut out with the veil nets. And then I took my measurement from the sleeve is a long sleeve from the shoulder to the wrist. So I took the measurement from the wrist to my elbow. That's where I want the plain fabric to come up. So that is about 8 inches. Now here is my sleeve. What I did here is just fold the main fabric, place it on it, so you can have the same measurement. Then I made it 9 inches instead of the 8 inches. 9 inches. So this is what I am going to do. I'll place this, I'll join from the base, then turn it over just like this. Then I'm also going to close it up here. After that, here is my fringe. Here is my fringe. So I told us that I'll be using this just as a form of design. So I'm going to place it on it just like this. Then I'll close it up so I can bring out my my sleeve. Then on the front part of my dress, after joining the shoulder and bringing out the shape, here is my stone chain, whatever trimmings or whatever the name is. I am just going to use this to create another design as well, just something like this, Then on the other side as well, same thing. Then this is coming like this. So it's this picture, it's just the same way I saw it. I can't remember now, but I saw it like that on the social media. So that is why I'm creating the design, just something similar. So that is what I'll be using with my trimmings. Let's do that first, then we'll move on to the next stage. So for the pipe, I have 3 colors. I am just going to use this to create a form of design. You can go with your own design if you desire, just something like this. So I'm going to use my needle, my hand needle and thread to hold it down. So just forming something like this, a kind of design on it. So if I can find my way to tack it down and then place this on it, then fine. And if not, if it will require me to to show it out for people to see, that's the edges, I don't mind as well. So you can just play around it. I'm going to do all that, then I'll show us the final result.